Let's go to Comedian Nazareth, and I can share it with you. And I think he's taping us right now, so whatever we do, we'll cut it off, but it's probably.
Where is the sunshine? Where is the moonlight? Does this dark cloud have a silver line? How many tears fall? How many days crawl by? Will I ever get back to this life? This wave of grief is drowning me, held under by all our need. Can anyone hear me? Does anyone care? Show me the one way to get there. One day at a time seems like forever. Every mountain you climb, we'll climb together, here in his arms. The salt of the earth, the light of the world.
I had him muted. Oh, you had him muted. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. No problem. Can we, like, when we start, can we play the video, the first video, and then I'll start officially. Okay. Thank you, brother.
Now your babies are all wearing crowns. To the weary and the weak, come unto me. Lay your burdens down at my feet. They'll be safe in my arms until you come to where we are. I am the one way to get there.
Came from LA today, bumper to bumper traffic, right? Anybody have a lot of traffic today getting here? What a hassle. This is what you do in LA. You put your car in neutral, let the earth rotate. Right? Yeah. You know it. And it's all hot. You know, I wanted to get my windows tinted. They went like $500. Forget about it. You know what I did? I bought a box of fruit roll-ups. Yeah. Did a show in Beverly Hills last night. So tough doing comedy there because the audience is all Botoxed up. Had a couple in the front row, so much plastic surgery, their faces were being held back by a chip clip. Yeah, right. Crazy. How many baby boomers do we have here? Be proud. Yeah. Yeah, be proud, because we're the coolest people here. We are cool. You know why we're so cool? Because we're in our second round of bell bottoms. All right? Yeah, that's right. Some of these hipsters still don't think we're cool. You know how cool we are? We went to the first Rolling Stones farewell tour. Huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who knows what these are, friends, huh? How cool is that? Huh? How cool is that? What do these things cost? Like 50 cents? What's an Xbox these days? Like $350? Hey, how about that? Hey, hey. I'm so glad I didn't miss. Remember how much that used to hurt? I dated a woman once, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. She told me this. She says, I can tell you used to be good looking. Yeah. She says, what happened to you? You got so old. I mean, how are you supposed to respond to that? Well, if I still look like that, I wouldn't be dating you. Yeah. Silly. There's this book somebody gave me, and it's called It's Never Too Late. You're Never Too Old. 50 people who found success after 50. That's 50 people out of 7.5 billion people in the world who found success after 50. Here's the thing I don't understand about baseball. The managers wear the same uniform as the players, all right? These are like middle-aged men with potbellies wearing the same uniform as professional athletes. Now, you don't see this in other sports. You don't see the swim coach come out there in his Speedos, do you? Huh? And if you did, you'd call the cops.
Welcome to Laughter for All. It's the podcast with Comedian Nazareth.
Hello, hello. This is Comedian Nazareth. Welcome to the Laughter for All podcast, coming to you from our studios in Corona, California. That was my friend Nick Arnette, very funny guy, and I will introduce him officially in the next few minutes. And just want to, another hot day here in Southern California. It is November and almost, mid-month. Well, we already passed the mid-month, and we're still hot. Tomorrow it should rain for the first time, so the fires can, I think there's still fires, but not as bad as we had last time. And so, what did I do this last week? That's always the. Well, last week I did a corporate event. Thanks to Dry Bar. I don't promote myself. I don't do that, but Dry Bar, one company called Fidelity, they found out about me from Dry Bar, and they invited me to speak in Palm Springs at their, what do you call it? They call it a title company meeting for their title people. I thought it was called Entitled Company. I wanted to bring my kids and said, listen, I need a new iPhone 11. Why? Because you gave birth to me. No? We'll go to the Entitled Company, American Entitled, and they can decide if that's what they want or not. But we had a good week, and I was able to be home. Saturday, we went to the beach, me and my wife and my little daughter, because our home is empty nest, but not much because the little vulture's still there, and we love it, so we have her for. Then Sunday, back to UCLA to spend the day with our daughter, who's doing great. Thank you for her prayers. She's doing good. Okay, listen, this is an offer. If you live in Southern California and you're close to Corona, California, and you have nowhere to go for Thanksgiving, doesn't mean you're poor or you don't have money for food. You just don't have your family somewhere else. So many other people left and they decided to go somewhere else. You feel, oh, I'm going to be by myself. Come to my house, please. But please let me know. Give me a few dates before so I'm able to provide, stuff some turkey. And you will be stuffed. You're in a Middle Eastern home. You will be full. So no diet, no garbage like that when Thanksgiving. So next Friday, I have a show at Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa for some of their volunteer and staff. But I'm officiating a wedding for the first time, which is, I've never done that. But my friend Yamo, his son, who I helped actually when they were growing up, like 4 and 5. I was around them all day long because we used to go do comedy. Yamo was the guy that led me to Christ, but we were doing comedy together. So I spent a lot of time with these boys. Their mom wasn't in the picture. So what happened is one of them, the older one, Brandon, asked me to officiate the wedding for him. So I was honored. First time, so I'm getting ready. I'm keeping it short and sweet and godly, So that's what I'm going to do Saturday night. And then I fly that night to Columbus, Georgia. Well, I'll fly to Atlanta, then I drive to Columbus for our military, Fort Benning. I'm going back there. And what happened is I have to teach days of sessions with soldiers who are just enlisted and soldiers who got injured and waiting to get healed and get back to the army, and soldiers that got hurt that have to go back. So it's not going to be just comedy. Also, I'm doing a Thanksgiving dinner for the military to appreciate, they appreciate our country, just being thankful for our nation. Also, I'm encouraging some chaplains and pastors in the army post there. So a lot of events in 2 days, Sunday and Monday. I'll be back home Tuesday, so keep that in prayer. But send me a text, say, Naz, I'm not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. Like, hey, come on over. And you don't have to bring anything with you. We don't want you to cook. We make our food's so good, we don't want your food. No, I'm just kidding. But if you want to bring something, you can. But please let me know. Message me or go to info@nazarethusa.com. Let me know you're coming so we can plan it. I'm excited. I'm not going to wait any longer. I want to introduce a friend of mine. He's very, very funny. He's one of the nicest people. And we've worked together for almost 30 years together. Right. His name is Nick Arnette. He's known as the feel-good funny guy. And he is. Even if you're with him, like he came in early here at the studios, and we just makes you feel good. Nick Arnette has been entertaining audiences with his clean and clever comedy for over 20 years. He has worked with such comedy greats as Jay Leno, Jerry Seinfeld, and Tim Allen. You may have seen him on HBO, A&E, or Comedy Central, and other comedy shows. His comic style is lighthearted and friendly and appeals to young and old alike. He has a deep faith in Christ and completed the Calvary Chapel School of Ministry program. If it's laughter you're after or humor with a message, Nick Arnette, he's the best. Welcome, Nick. Thank you so much for coming all the way here.
So, yeah, it's great to be here, Naz.
Oh, thank you so much. You drove from Hollywood, huh?
Yeah, near Hollywood.
How long you lived there near Hollywood?
Ever since I moved to LA. So
from where? You moved
from Seattle. Denver is my hometown.
Oh, you're from Denver.
Yeah, then Seattle 3 years, and then I've been here ever since. I like it. It's called the Mid-Wilshire area. So I live by the La Brea Tar Pits, if people know where that is. Yeah.
I know where that's
Miracle
at.
Mile neighborhood, right?
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. So how long it took you to get here?
Hour and a half, not so bad this time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that really is going to be good, because the way home is going to be probably
not really
3 or 4, no?
You know what? Because the 91 is the hard one right now, but heading back, I think going west right now is not as bad.
Okay.
Of course, once you get to the 10 freeway, you're going to get stuck.
Right.
I mean, last night at 10 at night, we were stuck.
That's the thing about living here, Naz, right? That's the way we talk. We talk about the traffic and how long. Yeah, the distance. That's the thing. I love it here except for that.
When you hit the table, it makes the
Did
noise.
I make a noise?
Yeah, people who are listening just...
I'm sorry, everybody.
They go, what? Did he drop?
That didn't make him feel good.
No, but you're the feel-good. See?
Yeah,
see how nice he is? So you moved from Denver to L.A.?
Denver, Seattle, then L.A.
Denver, Seattle.
Yeah.
What year was that? Were you in L.A.?
I got here early 90s, I think. Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah, really early, somewhere like that. Yeah, I've been here like 27, 28 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved it. I wanted to be on a sitcom, because back then there was a lot of sitcoms with comics. So that, or a game show host, or even a soap opera, all of that. I tried to do all of them.
You tried?
Yeah.
And have you done any? I mean, you worked with Jay Leno and Tim Allen and Jerry.
I want to clarify that, though. That was a lot of my early days opening for them when they would come through the Comedy Works. Actually, I've changed that thing you read there since then. But yeah, so I don't want to say. But Seinfeld, I did open for him a few times.
Yeah, I mean, opening for these guys is a big deal. I mean, I met Jay Leno twice. I think he knows who I am, but I mean, I've never performed with him or anything like that.
That was kind of cool. I was really early, super early in my comedy days.
Yeah. So when did you start stand-up? When you came to L.A.?
No, I started March 26, 1984.
Wow.
And what happened is in the summer of 1980 in Denver, I went to a comedy club, and Tim Allen was the headliner. He was virtually unknown then.
Right.
He was the headliner, and he was really funny, and he was dressed nice. He used to dress really nice. He had like a suit on and stuff, and real classy. And I never laughed so hard in my life, but I didn't know there were such things as comedy clubs like that. I didn't even know. This was just on a whim, and so I really want to do that. So, because I did skits in high school youth group and stuff, enjoyed having people laugh, and for me, as soon as people laugh, then I relax. That's the whole thing. Even to this day, if I get up there and the first joke or two doesn't work, then it's really nervous for me. But if they laugh right away, this is going to be a great time for everybody. Yeah, it's going to be laughter for all.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, I can use that name. But you're right. So you said you were in youth groups. Yes. So you were a believer before that.
Yes. Became a Christian in the Jesus Freak era of I was in 9th grade, and this was the Jesus movement made it to Denver. Started here, and then it made it to Denver. This was 1973, I think it was.
Oh.
We had a Bible study at our junior high.
Wow.
A Bible study. They'd allowed him then.
At your junior high in Denver. Not anymore.
Not anymore. And then I got a living Bible. I'd never had read the Bible before. And it was readable because I always thought it was unreadable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I stuck with it.
Praise God.
Yeah.
So 9th grade, and you've been a believer since.
I have. And I had some years that weren't the best. I even tried to get away, but God just refused to let me go. He would never let me go. No matter how hard I tried to run away from him, he wouldn't let.
See,
wouldn't do it.
It's interesting because when you accept Jesus young, sometimes a lot of the people I heard that they have moments where they left the faith and came back. Where I was 28 when I accepted Christ, and when I accepted Christ, my pastor who led me to Christ left his wife and kids and had an affair and ran away with his best friend's wife, and they have 4 kids. So 2 homes were broken because of that. And then the guy that was doing my discipleship found out later that he was having an affair with the soldier's wife, and they had to go and confess that. We're Southern Baptist back then, the church. So I was like, oh, if these people can fall, I'm not. But do you think, because I accepted later, there wasn't a falling because I've done enough stuff to know I don't need it. But being young, 9th grade, you accepted. So there was a moment where you go, you know what? I'm going to go try the world.
Yeah, and I think when that happened is when I started doing the road in my earlier days of comedy, because I wasn't around many believers then.
Right.
So I wasn't super wild, but I just was not church. I didn't go to church on a regular basis, and I wasn't very connected here in LA because I was gone a lot. So it took a while. It took a lot of effort to find a church and get connected again. It really did.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty outgoing person, but it wasn't easy. I had to try several churches, and really, I had to make it my own thing. That they didn't really reach out to me, and that wasn't their job. Not saying that anybody did me wrong, because it wasn't that way. But interesting thing you said that about now is because my youth group leader, one of them, somebody who discipled me in my early days in high school, he's agnostic. He's still agnostic now. He's still one of my best friends. But he says he wish he had the faith that I have, and sometimes I don't have a lot of faith, but I have some. I have enough.
Well,
yeah.
Let me put this, and let me just say, let me say this, and don't interrupt me. You're a handsome guy. You're a Christian. You're very funny, great sense of humor, and you're single. Now, that make it sound like it's a bad thing. Oh, man, what happened to you? Why is it? No, but I mean, you've been single. Ever since I met you and we've been doing comedy, you've been single. You
True.
never got married, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. What is it like to be single as a Christian? What is it like?
Well, that's a great question. It really is. And I don't know what happened, really. I was used to travel so much, and it's still not easy. LA's not an easy place for relationships anyway, just because of how we were talking about traffic earlier. Yeah. So that's a tough thing. Most of the time I work is on weekends, and that's when most people are available to go on dates. So I don't know how people ever did get together doing this. I don't know how you did. I'm glad you did it. So I think that is a part of it. There were a few situations where I was planning on getting married and they didn't work out. If somebody has an affair, well, then not me. I wasn't that one. Yeah. But that happens. My best friend married my girlfriend. That was another situation. Aww. So things happen. But life goes on, friends. No matter what out there, we get through it. We get through it.
Does it get lonely?
Sure, it gets lonely, but even married people get lonely. Everybody gets lonely. It's okay. So we need each other. We need to reach out. don't wait for people to reach out to you. Reach out to them. Volunteer. Get out there. Be around people.
That's a good idea. That's why, yeah, sometimes they, it's funny because we were talking about churches. A lot of churches don't have a singles ministry, and I'll tell you part of it is why. And one time I asked a church, a mega church, not our church, but why? He goes, either becomes a meat market for people. There's some men out there, single men, know that if I go to a Christian Bible study, I'm going to find some good women who are really willing to commit, don't have drama, which I don't know if that's true or not. But plus, it's not, they said it's a headache. It's not that to have a singles ministry. Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, one of the things that because I led some singles ministries for a while, and this was a common dynamic in a lot of singles group is what would happen is these unhealthy people would come, generally men, and they would be bothering these women. They would bother women, like you're saying, and then the women wouldn't come back. So then you would be left with these unhealthy people dominating the group, and then the group just generally faded away for that reason. And it was difficult to. How do you tell somebody, "Hey, quit bugging the women"? You try to. They do. They literally did always try to make an announcement like that. Sometimes with more success than others. Yeah.
Welcome to our Bible study today. We're going to talk about Jesus being a single man going around. By the way, don't bug the women, okay? We're going to be talking to a woman at the well, but don't bug women when we're talking. That's funny. I mean, that's sad, but that's because I remember I used to do comedy for singles event. So what they do is they had the dinner and the comedy, and then after that the dancing. So right away the people just wanted the comedy to get done so they can start dancing. It's always, you know who they are. They're wearing like still the John Travolta's white suit. I mean, it's 1990 something. They're still wearing it, and they're going like, "Hey, babe, how are you?" I was like, "Oh no, what is going on?" So how did you survive that? I mean, did you have to go to youth groups yourself? Not youth, singles groups.
Well, I led them for the most part, so for me, it wasn't really a place where I could date so much. It wasn't really, I didn't really have time for that. I was mostly leading. So so that one kind of got by me. So then, there was online dating, of course, the eHarmony, and there was a Christian Cafe. And I'm not saying, I still do some of that. Sure, why not? Like you say, people get lonely. So at the very least, you make a good friend. This is the trend I'm in now, Naz. This is what happens. Okay. I meet these great women, right? And it's usually I'm usually the guy that they haven't been on a date for years. Maybe they're widowed or, have been divorced for many years, and they want to start dating because the kids are gone, right? Right. So they go out with me, and we have a really nice time. And I'm a nice person, and I'm always good at recognizing people's strengths. So I like to build people up. I really do. So then they start feeling, hey, I think I can do this. So then, a week later, I call them, and they're already dating somebody else, because they feel good about themselves now. So I'm the warm-up guy.
You're the warm-up guy.
I am the warm-up guy. I am that guy. It's happened so many times.
Really?
So many times.
Well, why don't you just change your tone? The first, I'm not encouraging you till after the third or fourth day.
Yeah. Well, see, that guy's available on the weekend. See, I wasn't available on the weekend, so he moved in. He's done.
Oh,
just like
you're
that.
Performing on weekends.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Trying to make a living there, yeah. So it's all good. God's in control.
Good. I don't know why I have it. I think married guys have it in their mind. It's like, okay, this single man, we all get tempted and we get lustful sometimes, but, we go to our wives. And we go to, this is a real show. We're not playing. But just sometimes you feel like, oh, I like this woman so much or stuff, but I don't know.
As I get older, even it's just nice to go out and have coffee or something. I like that. That's good. Just a connection. Go see a show or something. It's because I will do things alone. I'm not afraid to go to the theater alone. I do that. I've traveled alone. But it's always nice to have somebody to share these experiences.
Am I making you feel bad right now?
Not so much, because I'll tell you. I've got to be honest. I think marriage is awesome, but I don't see a lot of marriages that I would really like to say like, wow, I wish I was that person. I don't know that many. I probably could count on one hand that I think really that I know that have really good marriages.
You know, Paul
and you're one of them.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I love my wife. I love my marriage. I mean, I was made to be married. That's why I can't think being single. I mean, even when I go like outside, like when I travel, I can't eat by myself. I'll see a homeless guy outside the restaurant. I will invite him to have lunch with me or dinner or someone. I'll just say, hey, why come sit? Because I just have a hard time eating by myself. Well, now with Facebook and social media, at least you can have, you know, conversation or while you're eating, you know, you're looking at it and you feel like you have friends talking back and forth to you. But before that, when it was hard to connect with others, but Paul said, you know, if you can go without, you know, Robert G. Lee has the best joke. If you can't, you married people are the ones burning, because if you can handle, because I think if Paul was here, he said, you know, it's better to be single because you get to serve more and you get to be active more. So what do you say to someone? Let's start with the women. Let's say a woman sitting here. Oh, by the way, ladies, if you're single, we have a handsome guy, Nick Arnette, very funny, one of the nicest people. So, hey, I'm just throwing that. But if you come to my Thanksgiving dinner, I'll invite him.
Well, you know what? I want to talk about that, and then we'll talk about the other thing. I'm so glad that you put that out there, because this happens to me every year, and I know I'm active at my church. A lot of people know me, but I never get invited for Thanksgiving, and I never do. So fortunately, where I used to work at a group home, I cooked Thanksgiving dinner for the kids. It was awesome. That's closed now, but they've never ever invited. One year I ate Thanksgiving dinner at Papa John's Pizza. Seriously, I think people just assume that you're
coming to my house.
You get invited.
You're coming to my house on Thanksgiving. I'm serious.
Well, okay.
Ladies,
all right, sounds good.
Ladies, Nick Arnette will be at my house on Thursday.
Yeah.
You are coming to my house for sure.
Okay. That sounds good, because honestly, it's always, my mom always says, where are you going for Thanksgiving? And I don't know yet. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Because where's mom live? In Denver?
Denver, yeah.
Okay, because when I was single, before I get married, what I did every Thanksgiving is go to the Salvation Army, and what we did is like we help feed the homeless or people who don't have. But then there's always so much food, and I came up with this idea. I said, hey, listen, how many of you have cars? And they raised their hand. I said, okay, how many of you can fit 3 or 4 turkeys or dinners in the trunk? And they're like, yeah. And we went around, driving around every year. Behind dumpsters, we find a homeless guy. We knock on people's doors in poor areas, and they look at us, what do you want? And they go, did you have a Thanksgiving dinner? No. Well, here you go. And it's like, praise God, we were praying for this. Yeah. So we did that. But then I got married, and you're right. Like the Bible says, when you get married, you're busy with your family. Yeah. But single, you still can do that and can travel and, and you can help. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, your mom, I'm sorry. Let me talk to you. Your mom is still in Denver.
Well, yes. And that's the thing we were talking about before the show. We were talking about, like, just because we're comedians, we're not always happy, right? And my folks are old. My mom just turned 86, and my dad's 89. He'll be 90 in March, but their health isn't so good anymore, and my mom's in constant pain. And while I was home last week helping take care of them. She ended up in the hospital, and she's in really bad pain. And it's tough to watch. Sometimes you wonder, well, God, why are you... And even my mom, she goes, why is God letting me suffer so much? Did I do something wrong? That's really sad to hear. It really is. But there's really no good answers. Even Job says, what did I do wrong? And God says, well, hey, who are you? Who are you to ask me? So...
have you considered moving back and being with
them?
them?
I have 4 sisters there, so they help.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I do, go back and give them a break. But, my work is here, especially for the auctions and stuff. There's a lot of those here, and not as many there.
Back to my question with that, like, what do you tell a woman who's single, and she's really looking for a godly man, and she's been going, seeing all these flaky guys sometimes. They just want one thing, like they want Airbnb, but you want a 30-year mortgage. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So what do you tell a woman like that? There's someone out there that's as good as you are as a believer out there.
Oh, Wow, I think the best advice I could give to anybody that's single is just continue to work on yourself because you attract people as healthy as you are. I've heard that before. Yeah, it gets lonely out there, so I don't want to give anyone false hope, but I just say, but women do much better than men because they have a circle of friends. Like I have a sister who's never been married, and she's really pretty and very successful, but she has a lot of really good friends, so she doesn't seem to really lament about it. So I think that's the thing. Work on yourself, have a group of friends, and this is what's one thing I learned, Nazareth, that I didn't know when I was younger, that there is no perfect person for any. There is no such thing as a soulmate. They can become one over a period of time, but people can be married to any two people can get married, and it will work if they want it to. Any random two people, if they want it to work, can make it work. So arranged marriages do just as well, or those mass weddings that they do, the Moonies, remember they used to do those?
Right.
They probably work just as well, because any two people, if they want it to work, it will
You're
work.
right. I've always said love starts after the marriage. When you go through not being able to pay the electric bill together, you draw closer to each other. I mean, if you're healthy. But that's a good point. Now, you said more women have like a support group of women around them. Guys don't have that
Not
much.
so much. Men don't live as longer.
What do you
as
tell a
long.
guy? What do you tell a guy who's single right now? A Christian guy, single, wants to do the right thing. What do you tell him? How did you have your support system yourself?
I would say get in a small group for one thing, and volunteer. Do some volunteer work, because the type of person, you might meet somebody doing volunteer work, and get yourself out there. There's singles dances. God is not going to send someone to you at your door. Someone's not going to knock your door and say, "Hey, God told me to come and."
They will, but if they do, don't.
Yeah, right. So you've got to really be proactive about it. So it just depends on your comfort level. I'm not afraid to do the online dating. I mean, I do it, and I've met some wonderful women doing that, and they're my friends. And like I said, I was a warm-up guy to a couple that have already, probably heading towards marriage now.
Okay, we got a call, and let's receive the call. Hi, who's on the line? Hello, who's this on the line? This Nazareth? Who's this?
It's Chris Rossetti in San
Chris
Francisco.
Rossetti from San Francisco, our famous and popular caller. You have a question for Nick?
Yes, first of all, I'd like to say, Nick, if you don't get enough to eat at Nazareth, you have a backup here in San Francisco.
Nice. I'm in. That might be worth the trip.
Oh,
Rice-A-Roni, right? The San Francisco treat,
Yes.
Rice-A-Roni.
Or
No, I've only had that twice. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, thanks, Chris. That's really nice of you.
And a quick suggestion also, and I'll let you go, sir. Why don't you start a website, a dating website, but there's only one member. It's you. You're the only male member. It's called niceguy.com.
Ooh, I like it. Hey, Chris, this is, you know what you said? This sparked something. On my photos, I smile, okay? And apparently, you're not supposed to have too big of a smile. That does not attract, that's not masculine, apparently.
really?
But they have these photo apps that will judge like what women like, and they want no teeth showing and just a teeny bit of, which I can't even do. I'm not even capable of doing, but it's just like.
I'm a nice guy, but I might leave you.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to project that little bit of a bad guy, a little bit of a dangerous image. So just picture you're like myself or Nazareth. You're married 20 or 30 years, and just act like.
You made it
Have a
sound
great day,
bad,
thank
man. Chris.
Oh no, it's great. It's great. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
calling,
so
Chris.
much, Chris. I appreciate it. Chris is a great guy. He will have a great Thanksgiving dinner, but
That
you're
sounds
at my
pretty good.
house, man.
Okay, yeah.
You're at my house. Now, when I met you, you were known in comedy as the Dude.
The
because
Dude of comedy.
You actually wrote the book on Dude.
The book of Dude.
Guys, he wrote the book on Dude. So I'm not making this up. And it's like like you can ask like any country and Middle East,
Well, it depends on
Kuwait.
Kuwait would be crude, dude. Yeah.
Iraq.
Iraq that would be defeated, dude. back in the day, yeah, because of Dude, I'm Insane. Remember that guy?
Dude, I'm Insane.
Yeah.
But how about Israel?
Dude.
Oh, okay. I don't want to ruin your bit at the end with dudes, but so you just wrote the book like here. A dude who deliberately avoids things is an dude. What does it say?
Well, you know what? I haven't even.
That's
looked
right.
At this
You did the LASIK.
Yes, I did. So now I switched glass. Now I have 20/15 vision, but now I need reading glasses. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. Let's see. A dude who deliberately eschewed dude. Yeah.
Eschewed. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, it's the Book of Dude. Is that still available? Like
still
on
available?
Amazon?
You can go. It's on Amazon. Easiest way to find my stuff on Amazon is just put Nick Arnette, and then my stuff. All of it will
it's
pop
better.
up.
I
Yeah.
always tell people instead of going to Amazon, go to the comedian or the speaker's website.
My website.
Because you'll make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Tell me about this book, Me, We, and Glee. We'll promote it later in the show, but what is this about?
Well, it's about, what is it, how to have a great attitude, work as a team, and keep your sense of humor. And the attitude part of it really came from a lot from what I learned when I went through a really difficult time. Back, actually, when my friend stole my girlfriend.
Okay, tell us about that. I love this because, we're Christians, but at the same time, we don't want to be, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Maybe the Lord wanted him to have, no.
Long story short, 911, I was working at a convention in San Antonio, right?
Okay.
And my friend, he would talk to me every day, and I would tell him about my girlfriend and some of the concerns I had. And he said, she's a great gal, man. Hang in there. Well, anyway, I couldn't get home. So while I wasn't home, he started hanging out with her as friends, right? Mm-hmm. So long story short, they got married. And I had a hard time because we had the same circle of friends, extremely embarrassing. So I got some good biblical counseling, and that helped me a whole lot. Elwood Hale's a man's name. He's like 91 years old now. He's awesome. He said, if the solution to the problem rests on what someone else should be doing, control of your life has gone out of God's hands and into the hands of another human being.
Wow. Can you
How
say
about
that again?
If the solution to the problem rests on what someone else should be doing, control of your life has gone out of your hands and into the hands of another fragile, fallen, depraved human being. That's how he said, yes. Because we're all sinners. So look for a solution that God can, that God can handle, not a human solution. Yeah. So focus on God. So it wasn't easy, but I did it, and praise the Lord. I actually was invited to the wedding. I emceed the wedding.
You emceed the wedding?
Even this was
how much
unbelievable.
did they have to pay you
What?
to be?
This is crazy. His bride, my ex-girlfriend, forgot to pick up her dress on the day of the wedding, so the wedding shop was closed, so there was a big delay. So I entertained everybody while they were waiting for her. And one of the questions was, how did they meet? Well, and I didn't say anything, but I wanted to say something. Yeah.
Tell him, Mr. Groom.
But
tell them how you met
praise
her.
God, praise God. So that's God can do
That's
it.
forgiveness.
God did that, and it changed my life. So that's what helped me. But then I started working on how to, attitude. Really, we're as happy as we want to be. We're as happy as we make our minds up to be, Naz. Right?
But there's people who have less of a trial like that, and their attitudes are still bad. I mean, what do we do with Christians sometimes when they have a bad attitude? You're saved. You should have the joy of the Lord, but they're miserable. Oh, life. What do you tell them?
Got to think about. You've got to write a list of things that you're grateful for or thankful for. I saw the best video today. So good. And it was this guy opening up his Christmas presents, and it's a family. So he's wrapped up on Christmas Day. So he goes, thank you, I'm alive. And his wife, so everything was wrapped up. He turned on the sink. Oh, thank you, I have water. And I have a shower.
That's nice.
Everything was wrapped. And there's all these things that we take for granted. I was in Myanmar in March, and I saw kids outside having the time of their life playing with a stick. That's all they had. And they were so happy and joyful. So, yeah, we need to be just so grateful for all we have and thankful. And think about joy. Joy and happiness are not the same thing. We can't be happy all the time. It's impossible.
Right.
Impossible. I worked with drug addicts for 8 years at that group home for kids. teenage drug addicts. And the long and short of it, a lot of them, they did drugs because it made them happy. It did. And it did for a little while. But then they come down. They're not happy anymore. There's their problems again. Hey, more drugs. Then you have an addiction. It's terrible. And it literally will kill you. They will kill you.
It's funny because you like working with young kids, and you used to be an educator yourself, right? I know. People are like, hey, this is a funny podcast. Yes, we're comedians. Comedians, we're real, and we open up. And if something funny comes up, we'll do. Any funny stories about being single before we get to the education?
Well, you saw my early clip, but that was a very true thing that I had a girlfriend that really said, I could tell that you used to be good looking. I mean, she really. And here's another thing. This is where I'm at now. This is also one of my comedy bits, but it's true. It really did happen. After a show, this really pretty woman comes up to me and she says, "You talk about being single. You're really single?" Yeah, I really am. She said, "Would you like to go out?" I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." She goes, "Well, here's my grandma's phone number." And that really happened. And she wasn't being mean. She was 100% like, "Hey, you should go out with my grandma." So it wasn't like she was trying to make me feel bad at all. But that's just kind of where I'm at now.
Well, if she looks good, just think what her grandma would look like. You'd say, "I don't want to cheat on my grandma. I already have one grandma."
Fortunately, I was leaving town the next day, so I did. It was an easy out on that one. But yeah, I am dating. I do date mostly date grandmas now. That's pretty much.
But grandmas are young now, or are we getting old? I don't know.
Well, let's say they're getting young.
They're getting younger.
It's a whole deal. I mean, you show up to the retirement home. You know, you got to meet the grandkids, and yeah.
No, you're not. No.
Oh my, yeah, because it's all grandkids now. They throw the grandkids on your back. It's like, that hurts. And write that down. Week back, yeah.
So, you were an educator. Were you a school teacher in LA?
Well, I did when I was doing acting. Yeah, so I had to supplement. I had to make a living, so I was substitute teaching. But then what happened is, then I started. I became the director of education at a group home. I did that for 8 years, yeah. But I wasn't the teacher. I got them back on track. I orchestrated with the different schools and all. I loved it. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Are you still involved with it? You said you have an opinion about education.
Well, I do. There's a few things. I think that the trades are very underrated. There's a lot of jobs that are unfilled now. Mike Rowe, I think, does a good job, the Dirty Jobs guy. And he's a big proponent of people getting of skilled labor. There's a lot of like diesel mechanics, for instance, not enough. There aren't enough of them. So there's a lot of really good, well-paying skilled labor jobs out there that are people aren't encouraged to do. Kids aren't very much encouraged at all in school to do that. You look at the curriculum for LA Unified, for instance. It's all like they're going to go to Ivy League schools. I think there should be, like other countries, they have different tracks. Some that are university bound. And then some that can actually have a skilled trade and do very well and make a really good living. There's no shame in skilled labor, none at all.
Well, then how else would you get loans to student loans and people making a lot of money off student loans, but to make sure that every kid in school, their only goal should be to go to college and finish college and get a corporate. It's like the corporation, I think they did all that. But you're right, like in our culture, if your dad is a mechanic and you love mechanics, why? You don't have to. Just get enough. Get your high school diploma. If you need any other classes that have to do with mechanics, get certifications and stuff. But you can be a mechanic. You don't have to go to a 4-year college.
Yeah.
Well, my kids are listening. No, guys, because I don't know how to do any. My son is doing comedy now, but he's a director.
Yeah.
But he could make a career. Actually, literally, if John wants to be a comedian, a full-time comedian, I can help him a little bit, but I know he has what it takes. So why not do, if your family business, do it. But no, you got to go to a 4-year college.
Most people don't even do what they studied in college. I was a journalism major, so I write, but I never wrote for a newspaper or I never did any of that kind of stuff. No, I didn't do it. So particularly now, too, I think that the more specialized things that are in demand, go to college and get a job in something that they're actually hiring for. But it's so crazy. I went to Colorado State University, graduated in 1980. Tuition was $300 a semester, $300. So I paid my way through school, but it was meant to be that way.
$300 for tuition.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
So I could work in the summer and make enough money to pay for college. It was meant to be that way.
That's awesome. Now, you do corporates and you do auctioneering work.
Right.
And I was listening to, watching one of your videos, and you auctioned something for $2.2 million?
$2 million in San Francisco. It was this vase. It was kind of a yellow hue. It was owned by somebody famous at one time. I don't even remember. But, yeah.
People will pay $2 million for a vase that was owned
for that
by...
one. Yeah.
What if it breaks in delivery or something?
Well, I'm sure that those are very heavily insured, right? Yeah. But the Chinese antique auctions, which I do a lot of, they're not as good as they used to be. But yeah, I've had $1 million sale. I did one last Saturday that we got up to, I think, 85,000, starting at 5,000, which is still pretty good. It's a lot of dough.
For what? 85,000 for what?
This was like a chest, and it had some various pieces of jade and just the whole. It's like somebody had like a jewelry chest, and yeah.
People would pay $2 million for a vase. How much money there is? And I mean, I'm sorry, but $2 million.
I don't know.
For a vase.
And I don't get a commission on that either. So.
Well, I know. Yeah. But what is that? So they hire you, and you, if someone's listening and like, hey, we're doing an auction.
What I would really like all of you out there is I do benefit auctions. I am a designated benefit auctioneer specialist by the National Auctioneers Association. So
you have your life.
Yeah, so I can help you with your fundraiser and give you some really good ideas. And there's a lot more to it than somebody just going up there and saying, 15, 20, 20. So I got that, and then there's the fund and need. Then there's some other games we could play to help raise funds. So I do it, and I like it because it's a combination of auctioneering, comedy, and then the motivational inspiration.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
People who are listening to us, some of my fans and stuff, they're all into, helping nonprofits and from crisis pregnancies to other stuff. So this is important what you're doing.
Oh, I love it. School fundraisers. I love the nonprofit world. I just love it.
That's because you're a nice guy.
Well, I like meeting these awesome people out there that are doing stuff. Met Ken Kraft, a Hope of the Valley, the CEO there. Just super awesome guy. They're all over. There's people like that with so much passion for people.
But that's you. You're very nice. Well, I can't say everyone I met is nice.
My strength, Naz, I think my strength that God gave me, it's not bragging. I'm good at knowing what other people do well. I know what strengths. I know what people do well. I'm good at that.
What do I do well?
You're very good. You're a kind of person that can make things happen. See, you have an idea, but you can actually execute it. You have the ability. Most people have dreams, but you actually know how to make things happen. You have a vision, but you do it. And I think God really gave you that.
Right.
Most people can't do that.
You're right. You know what? I never verbalized it.
Yeah.
But, like 10 years ago, me and a lady, an Iraqi lady, we decided we're going to help refugees. Mm-hmm. And 10 years later, we have this vibrant ministry with, helped thousands of people already and still with staff and everything.
Yeah.
Laughter for All, we went from an idea, it's like, Lord, how can we bring people who don't come to church to come to church? And, started doing the Laughter for All. And then now God said, I'm like, Lord, how can we change California? And it was through Jesus, so we started doing the Change California comedy shows. So you're right. You know what?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Maybe people should just hire you for that. It's like, you tell me what's my strength.
Well, I like to say it, if I see something, I say something. Another thing I want everybody to know about Nazareth is he's the real deal. I've been calling you that for a long time.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, because there are people in this business. And, of course, there's not going to mention names, but they are completely different people on stage than off. And I've had some unpleasant experiences with some pretty well-known people out there. Christian, I'm not picking on the secular world. So, you're the real deal. So that's why I want people to know that about you. You deserve all the success you get.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. I love it. This is the best podcast I've had. I'm gonna push it because it's interesting. So tell me more about the book, Me, We, and Glee. So who should read it?
Well, it's good for anybody. It's written based on Christian principles. It's not a Christian book. Mm-hmm. It could easily be one, but it's based on Christian principles. But it's actually a speakers bureau encouraged me to write a book. They said you need to write a book to have some credibility. So that's what I did. So and they all intertwine because people always want to know how to work as a team, but you need to be able to define what a team is, and you want to use humor. But how do you use it, and what do you use it? Especially now in this age of political correctness, it's got to be really extremely careful about what kind of humor you use.
Oh yeah, we people, the ones that get offended are not the ones that really you're talking about. Like you can be doing an ethnic joke and some people get offended, but not the person themselves. They're laughing hard, and you have to. I mean, it hasn't happened to me, but I've seen some comics who complain. It's like it wasn't the person that's like, let's say you're making jokes about black people, for example.
Yeah.
And the black people are laughing in the audience. They're laughing hard.
Yeah.
And it's just one strange guy on the side that's like white guy or whatever, and he's coming and it's like, I'm very upset at that. That joke offended me. Why does it offend you? It has nothing to do with you. But everybody's getting. Some people don't even know what. Like one time, I think we were speaking somewhere at a church in Illinois, and one girl, she's 16, she came to me and she goes, "You're so funny. I should have been offended. There must have been something that offended me, but I was laughing." Right. I'm like, honey, don't worry about it. Nothing should offend you. Just move on.
Well, yeah, people are extremely touchy, and that's why we have to be extremely, like, even this dude thing. One time people said that was racist because I could name a dude from any country. That was racist, and that was insane. One person said that, but unfortunately, sometimes those kind of things stick with you when they shouldn't.
Oh yeah, we take it to heart. Yeah. Even one person in 20 years says something, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't do that bit because now one person is offended.
Yeah. So, I think people are actually looking for a reason to be offended even. Yeah, they really are, right?
Hey, if you want a reason to be offended, call us. We are here at comedians.com. I don't know. We will find something to offend you. Yeah. But it's never the goal, because comedians by nature, like even the toughest, I worked with Andrew Dice Clay and others like that. It's just like, their not goal is to offend people. They just want to, hey, I thought of something this morning. I think it's very funny. Let me try it. They have I don't think there's a comedian out there going out there on the stage and saying, my goal is to offend people and make some people upset. No.
I think so. No, I disagree with you on that.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Who, like Bill Burr or who?
Well, I don't. I won't even mention names because I wouldn't want to be on any of those guys' bad side. But that's what they do, and they like it. They like getting a reaction. So yeah. So I would say that some specifically will go out of their way to go way over the line, and so far over the line, maybe they don't even believe what they're saying. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, that's what I think. But that's a cool thing. This is the cool thing, Naz, that I want people. You and I don't agree on that, but we're still having a great conversation.
Yes.
That's what I don't like, when people don't agree, and then they don't like each other because they don't agree.
Encourage my audience. They need some encouragement. Encourage them this.
Well, I think we were talking about happy, and you can't be happy all the time. But friends, you can have joy all the time. And joy is an internal sense of well-being regardless of the circumstances. So think about things that are joyful to you. Think about your family, your friends, what you know, about your faith. Those are the things you hang your hat on, because those are always with you through thick and thin. I'm going through a tough time now with my parents and their health, and that's very worrisome to me. But I can pray, I can plead to God for healing. I'm thankful for what great parents they've been, and that they've had very healthy lives, relatively so up until now. So that's one. 1 Thessalonians 5:16, 17, 18. Be joyful always. Again, it says joyful, not happy always, because we can't be happy always. Pray continually, and it doesn't have to be a big, long prayer, but hey, God, help me, God,
Yeah.
And giving thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Even if you're not a Christian, these are still very good principles. Giving thanks, not for, you don't thank God for the circumstance, but in them, because whatever we're going through, we generally get through. We're still here, Naz.
Yes.
You've been through some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've been through some stuff. You out there been through some stuff. Probably all of us, right? You know the thing, you either just finished a trial, you're going through one, or you're about ready to start another one. I mean, that's life.
Right.
It's a fallen world. It's going to be like that. It's never going to change.
You mentioned something about having 4 sisters, and
Four
you're the
sis-
only boy.
4 sisters, 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters. Yes.
How was that? What was that like?
Well, it was the deal. If they ever cried, my dad ran in. She's crying. Now you happy?
It's your fault.
Compared to her, I guess so. Yeah, but yeah, The only good thing about it is I had my own room.
Oh,
Yeah, I was the only one that had their own room, so that was good. And we're really close now, so that's cool. But you know what? Now I really wish I would have had a brother. That would have
Yeah.
been so cool. You have a brother?
I had 2 brothers. I didn't have a sister.
Oh,
I
no
don't know what
sisters.
it's. That's why it's harder when I'm raising my 2 daughters. Of like, my wife never had brothers. She had all sisters. I had all brothers. So it's confusing for me sometimes how to, to raise girls. It's like, I don't know. I had 2 boys, and I was the youngest of 3 boys. So, but you had all girls.
Yeah, and they were relatively drama free. So, in my dating life, there were some things that I encountered that I didn't at all encounter with my sisters. Even
They ruined it for you.
Yeah.
They give you the wrong impression.
Yeah. So,
Estrogen is good. That's what your sisters taught you. And then, boom, you face reality.
well, they taught me how to match clothes.
Oh,
Always.
yeah.
And
You're always dressed nice,
Today
right?
I walked out and I didn't realize my pants were black. Well, that doesn't go with the shirt, so I had to go back in before I came through and changed to blue pants to go with the shirt.
That is funny.
Yeah.
You just did Dry Bar Comedy, which is now getting big with the Clean Comedy. It's a TV show that's out of Provo, Utah, and they've been getting comedians. And we're talking about this. A lot of clean comedy there. Now, that I want to warn people, not everybody on the show is necessarily doing clean comedy. So just be careful, because there's I heard one story and stuff, but the comedians who you see, there's a lot of Christians. Some of our friends are there. So to me, it did good. I mean, so far I have 500,000 views on one of the videos, and I got some 4 or 5 gigs out of that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna continue. So I know when yours come out, people can do that. But where can people go now and just watch you or hear you or hire you?
I'd like to go to my website, nickarnette.com.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, Nick Arnette, Nick, and then N-I-C-K, Arnette, A-R-N-E-T-T-E. And I also bought Nick Arnette, A-R-N-E-T-T. So if they leave the E off, it'll still take
you're
Nick.
still going there.
Nick Arnette, A-R-N-E-T-T-E.com. And
.com.
Facebook, be my friend on Facebook. That'd be awesome. I would love that.
Okay.
Love having you as a friend.
Just put Nick Arnette.
Yeah, YouTube. You should be able to find me. This next, the video that you're going to show on the outtake.
Yes.
It's you got to stick with it, friends. Don't get judgmental on it. It's a little controversial, but it's clean. But it'll make you think a little bit, and it's funny. So it got a lot of hits. It's had a lot of views, and so I hope you like it too.
We will, and just thank you so much for being on the show. I know
time flew by. I wish we could talk some more.
I know.
Even.
We can talk, and we covered a lot of issues about singleness. I wanted to get that out of, because when I think of you, I think of the single lives.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
And there's a lot of people out there that are single that really you encourage them today.
We're the majority.
Yeah,
we are the majority. Don't forget it. Yes.
and what do you call it? So next Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, you're in my house.
Okay.
And I'll give you the directions.
All right.
But also, if you don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving and you live within driving distance of Corona, California, please message me either on Facebook or email me at info@nazarethusa.com. And I would love to see if we can have you over and we'll serve you dinner. We'll have fellowship, and we'll it's gonna be just my family and my brother's family. So kind of small.
Great.
My mom.
Well, not now that you broadcasted it all over.
And Go ahead.
And the rest of you out there, do the same thing where you are.
Yes.
You know, just ask people. You'll be surprised how many people don't have a place to go.
Yeah, there's always more food. People say, oh, we have more food than leftover, and after 2 days of leftover sandwiches, you end up throwing it away. Just invite people. Bring some strangers. Okay, you can share the love of Jesus with them. Also, I want to ask you especially to pray for Nick's mom and dad, for mom's the pain to go away. And to give them peace through that process. It is hard, so pray for them. Also, if you want to, next Monday, I told you, I'm going to be at the military base in Columbus, Georgia. So we might do a podcast from there. We might not. I might do a live Facebook, and then we can do it. I don't know how it's going to go, but just stay tuned. Come in at 2 o'clock next Monday and check it out. If you don't follow us on such, subscribe to the podcast. You can go anywhere, any of these podcast avenues, iTunes and others, and subscribe to the Laughter for All podcast. Also on social media, I'm under Comedian Nazareth or Nazman on Twitter. And just go to YouTube, Comedian Nazareth TV, and enjoy some of the videos that you have. But until next time, may the Lord bless you, guide you, and shine His face upon you, and give you wisdom. Keep on laughing. Remember your facial muscles. If you don't laugh, you're going to get wrinkled. And let's close with watching another bit from my guest, Nick Arnette. God bless you, and thank you.
This is a great country. It is. This is the kind of place where if you want to work hard, you can succeed, and that's a fact. Am I right? Here's my thing. There's a lot of people that want to come here and work hard because they want to be successful and they want to support their families. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What I have a problem with is there are a lot of people who are citizens of this fantastic country who can work, but they won't work. And they want to get a check every single month for doing nothing. And you know what? I think I have that problem solved. I think we should start a border exchange program. Yeah. That's right. Let's trade one of theirs who wants to work for one of ours who won't work. Yeah. That's right. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to give everybody a Fitbit, okay? Hey, you. Let me check that Fitbit. 28 steps and it's the 30th of the month? Are you kidding me? You're trading with Sam from Sudan. Hey, there's nothing to do in Sudan. Well, you're in the perfect place then. Get out of here. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with me on that one, friends. Yeah.